Hi guys, I am Dr. Sunil Sharma from Authentic ENT Center. Now today's topic is malignant otitis externa or necrotizing otitis externa, or best term is skull base osteomyelitis. So this is the better term. Today's topic is malignant otitis externa, necrotizing otitis externa and skull base osteomyelitis. What is malignant otitis? It is not malignant disease. It is not malignancy. Malignancy term for aggressive invasive infection. So this is misnomer. Okay, this is not malignant disease. This is because of aggressive invasive infection of skull base or temporal bone or external auditory canal or pinna. What is otitis externa? It is infection of external auditory canal or pinna is called otitis externa. But this infection may spread up to skull base or beyond that, temporal TM joint, parotid gland. So better term is skull base osteomyelitis. It is more common in male, 2:1. More common above 60 years of age who having diabetes or in any immunocompromised disease. Or more than 80 years of age without diabetes. Because 80-year patient is already, because of age, already immunocompromised, that patient have this infection that is without any diabetic, but more commonly it's found between 60 to 90 years of age with or without diabetes, but most of the patients having diabetes or any immunocompromised status. What is the definition? This is aggressive, severe, invasive infection of temporal bone, including external auditory canal, pinna, TM joint, skull base, lateral skull base, and soft tissue around it. So this is the definition. Aggressive, severe, invasive infection of temporal bone, including external auditory canal, pinna, TM joint, parotid, skull base, lateral skull base, soft tissue involvement. Now, what are the causative agents? Causative agents. Most common is Pseudomonas aeruginosa. Most common. Almost 60 to 80% of the cases of malignant otitis externa having Pseudomonas aeruginosa infection. Second common is Staphylococcus aureus. Third one is aspergillus fumigatus. These are the common causative agents. This is MCQ, most common. These are the causative agents: Pseudomonas aeruginosa, Staphylococcus aureus, Aspergillus fumigatus. Now, what are the clinical features? Clinical features. First is, most common is autalgia. That is severe excruciating pain, mostly at night. So this is classical feature, that is autalgia, severe excruciating pain, mostly at night. Second one is yellowish discharge. Third one is decreased hearing. On otoscopy examination, there is granulating polyps in external auditory canal at junction of bony cartilaginous region. This is granulation at junction of lateral 1/3 and medial 2/3. That is junction of bony cartilaginous junction having granulomatous polyp. This is characteristic sign of malignant otitis externa, and there may be cranial nerve palsy. Most common palsy is 7th nerve palsy, any facial palsy. There will be facial asymmetry. Second common is 10th nerve palsy. That may be palatal pharyngeal reflex, may be decreased palatal palsy. That may be 9th nerve palsy, and again last one is even 11th nerve, or most last is there may be tongue palsy and hypoglossal nerve palsy. This is the sequence. Most common cranial nerve palsy is 7th nerve palsy. This is MCQ. And there may be 10th nerve, 9th nerve, 11th nerve, and last hypoglossal nerve palsy. Other features may be TM joint pain, external pinna swelling. These are the, and dysphagia because of 7th nerve palsy. Dysphagia. So these are the classical feature of skull base osteomyelitis. Now, how will you diagnose? Diagnosis: clinical plus imaging plus biopsy. Most of the patient of malignant otitis externa come late. Delay period is about, most delay period in India is about 70 days. You will get patient of skull base osteomyelitis after having treatment or no treatment. You will diagnose, delay diagnosis about 70 days. Now clinically, if any patient which is refractory to normal medication plus having granulomatous polyp in external auditory canal. So this is the case of malignant otitis externa. Imaging. Now here is Levinson's criteria. Levinson's 1997 criteria. There are 5 criteria of this diagnosis. Levinson's clinical criteria. First is patient having severe arthralgia. Second one is refractory otitis externa. This is refractory otitis externa. Third one is purulent ear discharge. Fourth one is culture swell of ear showing Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and this culture showing Pseudomonas aeruginosa. And fifth one, patient known to immunocompromise like diabetes mellitus. So this is Levinson's criteria of diagnosis malignant otitis externa. What are the Levinson's diagnostic criteria? There will be severe arthralgia, patient refractory of normal treatment or refractory otitis externa, patient having purulent external ear discharge, culture showing Pseudomonas aeruginosa, and patient known to immunocompromise, mostly diabetes type 2. So these are the Levinson's criteria. MCQ. So this is clinical. Now imaging. If you see imaging, best sensitive test is technetium 99 scan. This is best diagnostic test. Sensitive is 98%, but this is having less specificity. So less specificity. So you will diagnose this very sensitive test, technetium 99 scan. Second one test is gallium 67 scan. It is having prognostic value. If you are treating the malignant otitis externa with antibiotic, you may have serial gallium 67 scans. You may do CT scan, MRI to rule out other pathologies. CT scan, and best test if you will do PET scan. PET CT scan. This is best test, but sensitive test is technetium 99 scan. You may rule out malignancy by this, but this is best test, but sensitive is technetium 99 scan. If you include MRI in this, there is no comparison. This is the best. If we are doing PET scan plus MRI, this is most sensitive and specific. If option is PET scan MRI both, then here and best. If sensitivity, MCQ answer is this. If prognostic, there is gallium 67 scan. So this is prognostic value, prognosis. Diagnostic best, this best sensitive test is MCQ and best test is PET CT plus MRI. Okay? And biopsy. Biopsy, if you are doing biopsy or culture, by doing this, you will get culture of Pseudomonas. aerogenous or fungal aspergillus. And second, you have to rule out malignancy. Okay, we are doing biopsy for culture of bacteria or fungus and rule out malignancy. So biopsy is also very helpful. Now this is most important classification, very helpful staging of this disease, that is called clinopathological. Classification of skull base osteomyelitis. Okay. Now stage 1. One is soft tissue involvement of external auditory canal plus negative technetium-99 scan. You will have infection of soft tissue of external auditory canal, but you will get technetium-99 scan negative. Stage 2 is soft tissue involvement plus technetium-99 scan positive. So this is superficial infection, this is more deeper. Soft tissue involvement plus technetium-99 scan positive. First stage, we will not get any positive technetium-99 scan. Third stage, divided into again, you will have soft tissue involvement plus is single nerve palsy, single cranial nerve palsy, mostly seventh nerve palsy. Okay, and stage 3B is multiple cranial palsy. After stage 2, you will get, definitely you will get technetium-99 scan positive. Fourth staging is involvement of intracranial involvement, cavernous sinus and surrounding TM joint and meningitis. So these are the clinopathological staging of skull base osteomyelitis or malignant otitis externa. First is soft tissue involvement without scan is negative. Second stage, soft tissue involvement, technetium-99 scan positive. Third is single cranial palsy, mostly seventh nerve palsy. And third B is multiple cranial palsy. And fourth is invasion of intracranial invasion, cavernous sinus or meningitis. So this is clinopathological staging of malignant otitis externa. Now what is the treatment? If you are not treating this disease, mortality is about 14%. Okay? Mortality is 14%. Treatment is, if it is Pseudomonas aeruginosa, that is most likely. Treatment is ciprofloxacin plus third generation cephalosporin. We have to go at least for 6 weeks. The best therapy is double antibiotic. We are using ciprofloxacin plus third generation cephalosporin intravenously for 6 weeks. This is the better therapy. You may shift after 15 days of oral tablets, but at least for 15 days you have to go injectable antibiotics. If it is fungal, aspergillus, then you have to give voriconazole. You may give initial 15 days injectable, after that you will give shift to the tablet voriconazole. And how will you know you are treating well? Best cheap method. Cheap method, you will do monitor ESR. This is very helpful for low source, that is prognosis of disease during treatment. You do ESR alternate day or for 7 days, after that every 7 days ESR. And second test you are doing is gallium 67, which is not mostly available, so for us ESR. So this is all about malignant otitis externa. Thank you so much.